So we're on the 43rd day of the practice of the Bhagavad Gita, and today's shloka is the 16th shlok of the 6th adhyaya. Bhagwan says, Natyashnatastu yogosti na chaikanta manashnata na chati swapnashilasya jagrato naiva charjuna. Bhagwan tells Arjun, this yoga is neither for him who overeats, nor for him who observes complete fast. It is neither for him who is given to too much sleep, nor even for him who is ceaselessly awake. Such a superb Shastra, Bhagavad Gita is, not only gives us the supreme, absolute truth of the universe, but it goes down to the basic recommendations for being healthy, for leading a good life, and by being healthy and leading a good life, how you can reach that supreme truth. So yesterday we saw in the previous shlok the description of a yogi, all the sadhanas that the yogi needs to do so that he's able to sit in silence and contemplate on the absolute truth that he has learned theoretically. The idea is to experience that theoretical truth as a direct experience from within. And for that, today, Bhagwan Krishna is giving some very practical advice. Bhagwan says that this knowledge which I have just given you is for someone who leads a healthy life, someone who is moderated in his lifestyle, and someone who is taking care of his body. Now, when we study Vedanta, we emphasize, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, my true identity is Atma. We say we should not have Deha Nishtha. And when we say we should not have Deha Nishtha, we presume, we take it as to mean that we must simply ignore the body, ignore the mind, ignore the intellect, ignore its existence also, ignore its health, its well-being. We kind of just say, oh, I am Atma, so body is not important, mind is not important, intellect is not important. Now, this is not true. Because if I want to have the direct experience of Aham Brahmasmi, I will need the body, I will need the mind, I will need the intellect, because these are the three instruments with which I will have to do sadhana. Because I cannot do sadhana with the Atma. Atma doesn't need sadhana. Atma is pure, Atma is sarva vyapak, Atma is eternal. I cannot do sadhana with my Atma. I have to do sadhana with my body, with my mind, with my intellect, so that I can exhaust my karmas, so that I can rise above my vasanas, so that doing that, removing the mal, removing the vikshep from this body, mind, intellect, I can finally reach my spiritual goal. So taking care of the body, mind, intellect, keeping it in pristine, perfect condition is paramountly important for me to reach my spiritual goal. So today we will talk very practical, 5 action points, how to maintain my body, my mind, basically the body, how to maintain the body in such a way that I make it ready to attain my spiritual goal. 1, eat nutritious sattvic food. What should you eat? Nutritious sattvic food. Why? Because what I put in, jaisa ahar, vaisa vichar. If I want to keep my mind stable, still, silent, to contemplate, what I eat is very, very pertinent. And not only the ahar which I will eat, but all the ahar that I will be feeding to my 5 sense organs. So that's point number 1. All inputs should be sattvic and nutritious in the way that it lends itself to spiritual growth. Then Bhagwan also says that complete fasting, not eating, doing tapasya of not eating, complete fasting is not recommended for spiritual growth. It's not necessary. People do intense fasting. Most of the times that intense complete fasting, they are doing to get some, fulfill some unfulfilled desire, to get some vardhan, to get a good husband, to get good children, to get money. They do all this tapasya of fasting, vrat, upvas, to get something. So that is okay. I mean, nothing wrong with that. If you have a vasana, you have a desire, you can do fasting. But if it is for spiritual growth, it is not necessary. And besides, if it is a complete fasting, Bhagwan has said complete fast in the shloka. Complete fast is abusive to the body. Also, it cannot keep the mind in perfect condition to do the intense work. Meditation is not just to switch off and sit quietly and relax. There's an intense work that needs to be done in the mind. And for that, complete fasting is not recommended. 3, what we eat has been said. How much should we eat? Quantity of food is also important. And I think in one of the previous shlokas, I did mention that you have to eat what fills half the stomach with food, not the full stomach, so that you just feel so tamasically, sleepy that you just, kind of fall asleep. So too much food, not necessary. Overeating, binging, late night eating, all this is prohibited to a sadhak. Okay, that is number 3. Number 4, how much to sleep? Too much sleep is tamasic. Too little sleep because you are busy at night, watching movies, watching videos on your phone, playing games. This, if you are staying awake late at night, that is rajasic. Neither tamasic nor rajasic. Advice for a sadhak. Don't sleep. Make it a rule. 10 o'clock, switch off. That's the latest that you should sleep. And therefore, a couple of hours before that, start winding down so that you can actually fall asleep by 10 o'clock. And 7 hours of sleep is highly recommended. All right. So good inputs for food and for all the 5 senses. Complete fasting, not recommended. Quantity of food, half of what the stomach volume is. Sleep, regular. And then 5th, depending on your lifestyle, you should balance your food intake. If your lifestyle is very active, like you are doing laborer's work, you're working in the fields, you're doing heavy, intense physical work, then make sure you eat well, nutritious, high calorie, nutritiously dense food. But if our lifestyle is sedentary, which most of us lead a sedentary life, then we need to exercise regularly so that we spend out the energy that we have taken in. So energy in and energy out needs to be balanced. If we maintain these 5 rules to look after the body, 100% you will be contributing towards making your body ready to be a yogi who can sit hours in meditation. This is a practical advice today from Bhagwan Krishna to Arjun and therefore also to us. More tomorrow.